Osarash, Whig, Gaeilge Weekly, Gurmi Lamad, Mar is Gach, as Tuna as Jack. As usual, big thank you for tuning in. Agus, Shatan na Gaeilge, Honna, Jeeve, Galir. Happy Irish Language Week or Shatan na Gaeilge to you all. Marial, Gulmij Inish, Tagta Éascacht na Gaeilge. Dort me, agus Louis me, on Tachtan Chikacha. I mentioned last week that we were going to do a few different things. Garments hun cúpla rud difriúil a dhéanú. Check an tá real a one agam Gaeilge Weekly, and normally have one rule on Gaeilge Weekly. Well, tá cúpla real agam, like real a one, ní small ná ein cheanella. One rule bigger than any of the others. Agus sin nach mím ag labhairt faoin Gaeilge I héin. So I don't speak about Irish or the Irish language itself on Bud Craila, because there's already enough content out there. Hana héin tá a made sin contents an waitin sin trí Gaeilge ag labhairt faoin Gaeilge chomh ach an tain or I rit na bliana, the one time during the year a bhín me ag brisú an réal sin Gaeilge Weekly ceachtain na Gaeilge ach by an tagran sin ag tacht an tachtan se hugan. So that version will be coming out next week, or that episode rather will be coming out next week. Ach don chéad ceachtain den caiiciis na Gaeilge. So for the rest of the week of the fortnight, the Irish language fortnight really, mar host muna bhfuil is agah hana féin. If you guys don't know already, tasníon seachtain na Gaeilge an géad lá mína mórta, agus creitníonn sé lá é leporic an seachtú lá déag mína mórta. So don chéad agran an tachtan seo tá chun Q&A a dhéanú. Chur mé cúpla scéal sús Instagram, leanúint Instagram, agus freisin Louis mé an Bud Craila an tachtan se catcha, go rá sibh in an teachtarachtaí messages agus rifust emails a cheola is teach le ceisteanna, agus buíoch le dia tá neart ceisteanna agin tal neart ceisteanna agam le freigart. So tá sói much de hart ní nó de gin difriúla. So déin hi mé iirecht an gach ceann a rairt. And thankfully I've had a bit of a dress rehearsal and I know what I'm going to say for each one. Marial go me ag labhairt ar nó agus ag freigart na ceisteanna seo an Gnáthleagan gen Fud Craila on the normal version or the full version on Leagan Umlán gen Fud Craila níos luha inniu. So, an chéad ceist, agus actually an chéad cúpla ceist ó Ellen Tuffy, mar chuir sí trí ceist ar friúil chuigim. Ibrahim, are you a native speaker? If though, what's your favorite thing about teaching Irish? If 3 favorite country/city you have visited. So, Ibrahim, are you a native speaker? No, ní caintear dúchas mé a churbe. Is as Gailge me. So I'm from Galway, agus rugu, agus tógu mé imol na Gaeltachta, on the kind of edge of the Gaeltacht. So Gahufagul is as an Gaeltacht me, officially I'm from the Gaeltacht from Connemara. My address, Machola, Arash in Éireann, or no, Neil me, Imachoni in Éireann, ní smó, I don't live in Ireland anymore, ach nuair bhí me, Imachoni an sin agus fós na leihin da seo. Me hismóthirí an seola atá acúb, the address that they have, Gahufagul tá sé mar chuid den Gaeltacht. Ach no, ní rá an Gaeilge agin sa teach mar an chéad cheanga. Ach I ggóinní nuair tá tú in áit cosúla sin, agus ceapam a lá náitna timpeall chathair na Gaillimhe, really. A lot of places around Galway City or close to Galway City bín an rud céin siúl, bín chunker ulmhór ón Gaeilge. So there's a big influence from Connemara in terms of Irish coming in. So mar hampla, Bíl na gach múnster a bhí agam agus gach múnseir Gaeilge a bhí agam an meánscoil agus an munscoil ba chainteirí dúchaise iad. So ar nó I bhí an chaid an ord. Nuair a bhí muid ag dul go dtí an affran when we were going to mass ag an tíar seachtaine. Bhí beidir la den affran I mBéarla agus la den affran trí Gaeilge. Agus an sin an scoil a drastal mé, is ní Gaelscoil a bhí ann, ní rá gachrod as Gaeilge, ní rá arín labhairt as Gaeilge le chéile mar galtaí as students, as pupils, ach beidir go rá an múnseoir ag labhairt as Gaeilge an tamar fad, agus fiú rudaí cosú le mata, agus ólaíocht, agus níl sagam topicí eile, rinne sí or rinne sé gachrod as Gaeilge, bhí rudí múnaithe trí Gaeilge, so things were taught through Irish. So bhí sé Bígí éisteacht kind of halfway house, agus is tócha mar ealar sin bhí an Gaeilge I gcónaí mar an ghnárud dom. Céir nach rá sé agam go fearfa, even though I didn't have it perfectly, agus céir nach rá mé ag buint úsáid as an Gaeilge gach lá sa teach mar hampla sa moille, even though I wasn't using it every day at home. Bhí sé gcónaí an sin, bhí sé gcónaí timpealarm, so mar ealar sin bhí caid an sách má agam I gcónaí ach an sin nuair bhí mé 6 bliana, 7 bliana deagdíos, 8 bliana deagdíos. Thosaigh mé ag buint úsáid as an Gaeilge níos mó I me héal hain in my own life, agus ag déanana staidéar an Gaeilge taobh muid an scoil, taobh muid an ollscoil, ag éisteacht le níos mó rudaí, agus an sin go háirithe nuair thosaigh mé ag múna na Gaeilge, especially when I started teaching Irish. Níl éon rud eile sa dain chomh sin ná a bheith múna rud éigean chun fios a chur whatever, péród beidir an level atá agat I danga, an level atá agat ag seanim orlas ceol, ein skill, whatever. Má tá rud éigean a bhúna if you have to teach something by tusa freshen ag airí a bhhad níos fearr ag an rud sin. What's your favorite thing about teaching Irish? Honestly, agus beidir gohfuil sé seo beagán selfish, ach just gohfuil an seans agam labhairt as Gaeilge gach lá an seo sa Spáin. So, muna rá mé ag déanú rud éigean is Seol na Gaeilge, bhín ag cailú mo chud Gaeilge, stoke I'd be losing my Irish, agus bhín beagnaí bortha nach rá an seans agam I a úsáid mar tá sí chomhtábhachtach sin I me héal. It's that important in my life. So just gohfuil an seans agam labhairt as Gaeilge gach lá, agus lá daoine is tócha bhfuil ag éirí níos mó Gaeilge úsáid ina Seol. A lot of people want to use Irish in their life. Caithfidh siad a bheith obair ó 9-5 I mBéarla nó I danga eile, agus an sin tar éis, tar éis na hama sin beidir gohfuil an seans acu pon éisteacht le rud éigean trí Gaeilge nó bheith labhairt lob féin as Gaeilge. Ach, I gcónaí tá sé ag deir an lei agus tá tú géirí de scélings mise tá mé an mo chud Gaeilge úsáid nuair tá mé obair, agus caithfidh mé I úsáid agus mise ag obair. So is tócha sin an rud is fearr faoi ach freisin just a bheith an rudí a bhíonú do dhaoine agus ar nó I cabhrú le daoine chun an Gaeilge ólam. Favorite country or city you visited? Dakar chun rá. Tá mé an dul go dtí an idal ag gceann cúpla seachtain, so beidir go mbeidh an freagar beagadín difriúla ag gceann mísa in a month's time. The answer might be a bit different. Achanish, Berlin. Is even in Berlin. Bhí min sin 3 nó 4 ór inis, 3 ór ceapam. Is even in Berlin mar péród atá wet, tá sin, whatever you want, it kind of has it. Má tá tú ag géirí dul an sin agus a lán rudí a ólam faoi stair na Gearmána, stair an dar chugad Déanta. Tá sé eici, chomhpháirtíocht sin má tá tú ag géirí dul an sin le cóide agus dear seachtainna, spríúil a bheith agat an sin, tá tú ná dhéanamh. Tá daoine an oscailte, tá an ghfuil sé beaganín ró hipster le lán daoine freisin agus dumsa chomh ach an náis an cúpla ór ar a mission sin bhí sé go hinnta agus an west agus an east agus an stair ag buint leis an chuúil ar fad agus just tá tú ná tá méid sin stricsú le London is tócha meascán a dhaoine difriúla, mix of different people agus na ferganíomh difriúla agus tá an ferganíomh nua aimsríthe an sin mar is tócha an damáiste ar rinú I ré an dar chugad Déanta. So it's even in Berlin ach freisin ceantáis randomach ach Bosnia agus go háirithe Sarajevo, ní rá mé féin ach is Sarajevo agus Mostar. So I was only in Sarajevo and Mostar, but even lom dul go Banja Luka no na hátainna eile. Banja Luka ceapam gur sin an tanama there. I think that's the name of it. The third biggest city or the second biggest city in Bosnia. Ach bhí mé Mostar agus Sarajevo agus bhí Sarajevo gan doubt an áit is simúla a chonig mé I me héal. The most interesting place I ever saw in my life. Mar níor chríochnaí an cogan sin go dtí 1995 ceapam the war didn't end there until 1995. So, harla sé le déine. It happened recently agus tusa ag siúil timpeall na cathrach fós stan lá tá nneothán. Nowadays tá tú an na bullet holes eáil agus an damáiste a rinú timppel na carfrach agus ní sé bocht okay, listen tá sé anna sir agus ar nóid tá economíocht I bhfad níos lú an sin ná martá sé an shut sa Spáin. The economy there is a lot smaller than it is here in Spain ó gandát in air nach ní sé don séach or níl sé anáis run down ach tá tú ag siúil beidir shráid amháin agus is féidir leat cúpla fergan if defriúil bullet holes nó rud éigen a bhí ag taspáins an éifeacht agus an tionkar a bhí ag an coga an gcathair. Agus níl sé agsúla Berlin I Merlin mar hampla tá an Berlin Wall eáil in áitina agus tá sé sin Déanta the aon thurs so on purpose mar gheall go bhfuil siad ag éirí rud éigen chuinneáil mar a bhí sé. It's like that on purpose because they want to keep something or they want to keep the wall like it was in parts to remind people hon is stocha é a chur I gcuimhne do dhuine éigen chuna sa bhí rudaí ach I Masné just tá sé mar nach bhfuil beidir an targad acu chun rudaí yeshoots because they maybe don't have the money to fix things ach níos mó ná sin mar gur hála sé trocha bliain ó hin fiú níos liú tá sé do chreide so tá Bosnia anna simil tá Bígí híntaach go háirthe buraic is íomh an buraic tá mé gafa leis nar bhíim an sin sa chróit an turb Bosnia agus just scéal agus stair do chreide sna tíortha sin éáit sa ar Yugoslav anywhere in the former Yugoslavia ach go háirthe an trí hir sin an turb Bosnia agus an Croat. Stair an a bhrónach an a bhrónach go háirthe I Bosnia agus Kosovo freisin ach stair an a simil freisin. So Bosnia má tá chance go dul if you've the chance to go agus freisin tá sé anna sir like anna sir really ní tú ag íoch éonrúd nar bhí mission sin bhí sé anna sir ar aonas mar níl sé mar chuid gen taintas orpach. So má tá tú ag éirí dul áit an Bígí defriúil I mlíon if you want to go somewhere a bit different this year somewhere cool áit an cool sé go Bosnia bhfuilhin go mór I would really recommend it. Okay, gur míad amad as na Ceisteanna Ellen agus gur mad as a bheith ag éisteacht le Gaeilge Weekly or an tá cúpla ceist actually no just ceist one seolta isteach ag Oran Roach Instagram. Not sure if you've spoken about this before, but I would be interested to hear your thoughts on why Irish language education in Ireland generally is so extremely ineffective and what steps we can take to improve the situation as individuals, as a community, or as a society. Oh, maybe you wanted questions about Irish. If so, never mind. No, ceist iontach Oran ná bí bortha faoi sin. Ba méid leabhart beidir beagnaí níos mó faoi seo an teachtain se thugan an tain agrán a bhíon mé ag déanú the only episode I do an Gaeilge I hain. But one thing I would say, rud amháin a deirhin, and I think this is the biggest, I suppose, thing in my head an rud is mó I mean sin maidir le idicus na Gaeilge ará sin éireann. Tá bhád numarcha béim Gaeilge sa meánscoileanna. So there's way too much emphasis on Irish education in secondary schools. Caithfear a bhád níos mó béim a chur an Gaeilge in munscoileanna. So there has to be a lot more emphasis put on Irish and Irish education in primary schools. Mar má tá tusa ag dul isteach agus tusa beidir linn díos go dtí meánscoil. If you're going to secondary school, maybe 12 years old, agus níl Gaeilge ad, is cum a céan-size course idicus really atá ad idir, linn díos agus linn díos. It doesn't matter what kind of education system you have really between 12 and 18. Ní bhaid Gaeilge ad, or ní bhaid Gaeilge le caid an anna ord ad agus tusa ag fágáil na scoile inne sé bliana. Ach, mar hampla, má tá tusa ag dul isteach go dtí an bunscoil. If you go into primary school agus tusa ceithre bliana díos agus tá a lán Gaeilge. Fiú ní méid leabhart faoin 8 mbliana omláin, ach just má táid ag leabhart mar hampla. So chéad ceithre bliana. So idir nuair atá an páiste ceithre bliana díos go dtí nuair atá siad 8 mbliana díos. Má tá tusa immersed agus just bása is Seol na Gaeilge, really kind of surrounded and almost drenched, I suppose, in the Irish language. Agus tá sé timplairt, agus tá Gaeilge iontach, ord caidzán, high standard ag an Munster. An sin, tá éascagin go léir, cé go bhéasca agus atá sé le haipáistí chun teangacha a ólam nuair atá siad an óg. We all know how easy it is for children to learn languages, I guess, especially when they're very young. So hana féin, gone more on éireacht without much of an effort, just as a bheith sa down sin, just being in the world agus a géisteacht leis an Gaeilge gach lá agus a gúsáid an Gaeilge gach lá. By Gaeilge iontach acúb or Gaeilge soch ma acúb arénos, they'll have a good level at least, or a great Irish maybe, nuair atá si 10 mbliana a díos agus 1 bhliain ag díos agus an sin ag dul go dtí an meán scoil going to secondary school an bhliain dar gionn. So sin an rud is tábhachtí mar an ceapam an caid an Gaeilge atá ag I mothaithí arénos, in my experience, an caid an Gaeilge atá ag múntrí meán scoile in éireann tá sé bhád níos airde ná an chaid an Gaeilge atá ag múntrí bonscoile. Agus caithfear scrúdú nó rud éigean a bheith agén agus dearann sé listen muna bhfuil ord caid an Gaeilge ad. Ní féidir leat a bheith I bhúnseir bonscoile. Agus tá sa gom go sé sin deachar. I know that's difficult because the country is crying out for more teachers at the moment. Tá sé deachar inis don hir chun níos mó múnstrí a all. You know, my sister works as a primary school teacher back at home, being Madurfar Gilbert mar bhúnseir bonscoile arás in éireann. So I know there's already a lot of issues in terms of the government trying to get in more teachers in certain parts of the country and already having a lack chana féin beidir bhfuil aspa múntrí acúb in áit na timpeall na tíre. So it's tough then to put another kind of requirements or thing that they have to have. Tá sé deachar chun rud eile riocht don nach eile a chur isteach agus rá. Listen, caithí tú a bheith an level seo agus level an ord leis an Gaeilge. But what hope? If you're leaving primary school, tá ag fágáil na bonscoile agus tá droch Gaeilge ad, you've bad Irish, is cuma cad a dhéantar. It doesn't matter what is done I ri na sé bliana inné sin during the 6 years after that. Ní bhaid Gaeilge lá ad. You know, tá an fundamentals tá na bunclochanna agus an level atá ad agus tusa I rang a cahar, rang a cuaig, rang a sé, fiú ribh sin, rang a trí, rang a dó, sin cad atá tábhachtach agus má tá caid an soch ma ad agus tusa gábhlín deagdíis. If you have a fairly decent standard and you're 12 years old, after that you just have to have a fairly decent curriculum at secondary level and it'll take care of itself. They'll get better and better. Tá sí tónáirí níos fearr agus níos fearr. So caithí Gaeilge níos fearr a bheith ag múntrí bonscoile agus caithí is doch caithí an rialtas noch is ní maithlam bheith láirtún rialtas ní maithlam nar bhíon daoine ag gur tá luchttar an rialtas a gcónaí, it's the government's fault always, because it's not. It's people who make up a society and a country, daoine a hagan le chéile chun tír a chothú is tócha agus chun cultúr a chothú to kind of build or to nurture a culture or a country, I suppose, in many ways. So you have to look at people's attitudes as well as an dearcha atá ag daoine tífriúlach sin an rud is mó dom. So that's the biggest thing for me, more emphasis on teachers and schools teaching more in Irish, immersing children in Irish, go háirithe idir nuair atá siad ceithre bliain díos agus 10 bliain díos, especially when they're in between 4 and 10, and get that base level when you have such an opportunity tá méid deisina sin agat nuair atá na páistí sin comhóg when the children are that young, so they'll soak it up just like that by sé éasca dó bhfuil bísí for them. So that's my opinion on it. I have to really look at primary schools more. Ceist ó Pierce Fay agus gurmad órán as an gceist sin agus gurmad as a bheith ag éisteacht le Gaeilge Weekly. What are good ways, seo ó Pierce Fay ar Instagram, what are good ways of someone to keep their Irish sharp who went to Gael school but doesn't have anyone to speak with anymore? Pierce ní leon duine eile ag tasláid, you don't need anyone else. You can live your full day in Irish in your head. Is féidir that an lá ar fad a chathú is tóch ag markdal trí Gaeilge agus Seol Gaeilge a bheith ad just ag láir leat féin. So when you go to the shop, instead of saying in your head, okay, I need to get milk, I need to get the paper, blah, 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 just say, caithfidh mé bainneáil, caithfidh mé popper nuacht an all, X, Y, and Z. When you're writing out your schedule for the week, instead of writing MTWTF, write LMCDA, Lún, Mórts, Céadaoin, Déardaoin, Ina, whatever. Change the apps on your phone to Irish, for example, WhatsApp. Is very that WhatsApp, Ahrú, ag tíon Gaeilge, chumhpháirtíocht sin, Airbnb, Facebook, Outlook, Gmail, tá sé an Twitter, má tá tú fós ag úsáid Twitter nó X. Ní féidir le Instagram athrú, ach Google tá tú an athrú, tá lán cín difriúla. There's a lot of different ones gur féidir leat athrú. And just be, even if you don't fit in and speak with, just speak up by yourself. Have the attitude of, okay, a Spanish person would be speaking to themselves in Spanish in their head all day. Their kind of internal monologue would be in Spanish. An táimar fad duine as an Spáin, bheadh siad ag labhairt a Spanish in a gceann. So an rud céin le leat. Same thing with you. Is féidir leat a bheith ag labhairt a Gaeilge. In a gceann mar is, well, níl is agam, Pierce, I don't know. Ach tá tú i caithfh gansaí éireannach in the profile picture on seo ar Instagram. So tá mai ceappa gur éireannach chu. So sin an dearcha támsa is as éireann mé, so bíonn mé ag labhairt a Gaeilge. An chuig céine más as an Ungar who, if you're from Hungary, bíonn tú ag labhairt an Ungarish sin an smaoinemh atá agam maidir le sin. Agus yeah, freshen, beidir piece of chur le eile, another thing, more so to do consuming content like listening and watching stuff in Irish. In áit just a rá, tá mé chun fécinn ar rosnar an gach. Níos fearr a rá, so better to say, okay, cad iad na rudaí a bhfuil mé ag déanú gach lá ar aonos i mBéarla, agus an sin cén chuí a bhfuil mé an chuid de na rudaí sin a athrú Gaeilge. So not just rud ag an fiocú amach, instead of just picking something out, agus rá, okay, rosnar tá mé chun fécinn ar sin gach or whatever, tá mé chun éisteacht le podcréile gach. Well, an bhfuil tú ag éisteacht le podcréiltaí i mBéarla hana féin? Are you already listening to podcasts in English? Because if not, then why would you listen to one in a language that you're not as good at? Cén fá a bheith fá ag éisteacht le podcréile? Mana bhfuil tú ag éisteacht le podcréiltaí i mBéarla, cén fá a bheith fá ag éisteacht le podcréiltaí i teanga eile? Nach bhfuil tú chomh compordach sa teanga sin. So féach ar rudaí a bhfuil tú ag déanú hana hain. Look at things you're already doing, mar hampla, if you're into sport. Okay, are you into watching sport or listening to sport on the radio? Well, can you do some of that in Irish? An féidir that chuid den rud sin a dhéanú trí Gaeilge. Or if you, whatever, you love music and reading album reviews, tá lán daoine ar lína ar síomhanna difriúla agus bíonn siad ag scríomh léirmheasanna reviews le haith album na difriúla a bhíonn ag teacht amach. So find stuff you do already and change it to Irish. Sin an piece of chorla is fearr atá agam dit Pierce. So I hope that helps. Agus gur mod as a bheith ag éisteacht le Gaeilge Weekly, Pierce. Aisling O'Brien, how long does it normally take to go from basic Gaeilge to be able to speak it fluently from your experience? Well, Aisling, that depends on whether or not you become a member at Learn Irish Online. No, that's not my actual answer, but I do have to do a bit of promo here since I haven't done it in a few weeks, and it is Seachtain na Gaeilge. If you are looking to improve your Irish this Seachtain na Gaeilge and over the course of the next year or so, because there are a load of different things that we offer at Learn Irish Online, I'll let you go and check them out yourselves rather than explain it all here. Patreon.com/Learn Irish Online, €7 a month with a free trial now available for the membership, and you get loads of different video and podcast series available exclusively to members and designed to make it much easier and much simpler for you to improve your Irish, both spoken Irish, written Irish, and also how you can understand the language. But as well as that, we've also just released our biggest project to date. That is the 7-week level up course. That is separate to the membership, although as a member you do get 20% off that course. But that course is available over at learnirishonline.com. It's made for anyone from upper beginner to upper intermediate level. It's got 7 weeks jam-packed with a load of different content, which means at the end of the 7 weeks, the idea is you're going to be significantly more confident in speaking, listening, reading, and writing in Irish. All the links will be down below. Check out the membership on patreon.com/learnirishonline, or all the different courses we have to offer over at learnirishonline.com. And as always, if you have any questions, issues, concerns, or not sure whether a course might not be for you, you can give me an email at liam.learnirishonline@gmail.com. Now, Aisling, let me give you a proper answer to that question. On a Dakar, hun fargra a horchtish, Aisling, mar honestly, it depends. Bratan sé an duine. Some people get more progress in 3 months than other students do in 3 years. So beidir goil níos mó dul hun cín ag daoine tíobh sé de 3V ná daoine eile tar éis beidir 3 bliana. So some people just pick it up. Well, some people are just they learn more effectively agus bíonn siad ag fólam in malach níos fearr. So instead of just doing a load of study on stuff that they're never going to use or proverbs or whatever, stuff that isn't actually practical to speaking and understanding the language, rudí nachhfuil practical is dócha ó thaobh labhairt agus tuiscint na Gaeilge, then you're not really going to get anywhere with it quick. But if you're using effective methods, má tá tú ag úsáideach sig déanamh stáidtear le bailí agus slíanna éifeachtacha chun an Gaeilge a ólam agus an fiabhas a chur the chuid Gaeilge, then your progress will be a lot faster. But it depends so much. Depends on how much work you're doing. Also fluent, like Cadacílian fluent, Cadacílian líofa. Má tá tú an labhairt go chomhpháirtíocht agus rudí éasca bhfuil tú líofa. Má tá tú an smaoine faoi aon rud faoin topic bhfuil tú an sin líofa. If you're able to think about anything, about any topic, are you then fluent? Tá sé có deacair, tá sé có oscail se sin. It's that open, and no one's been able to define fluency really in the history of languages. Is start na teangacha tá méid sin tuairimid ar friúil, so many different opinions out there. So I'd get away from this idea of fluency. Forget about that. Just try and get better every day and enjoy it. Déan éireacht chun éirí níos fearr gach lá agus taitneamh a bhainteas. Más rud é go bhfuil tú ag déanamh ceacht amháin le múntar in aine seachtainna. If you're doing one lesson a week with a teacher, a conversation lesson, let's say, every week, agus tá tú chathú leat ní gach lá ach beag nach gach lá, not every day, but almost every day, kind of spend a half an hour on listening to something. So géisteacht le rud éigean trí Gaeilge, nó ag labhairt leat féin as Gaeilge agus scríb focail nua, she's writing new words down, nó beidir ag léamh rud éigean ar líana nó i labhair trí Gaeilge. Beidir tar éis dearhin 3 bliana bheith level mad. Like level in bhfuil tú chomhpháirtíocht le labhairt na Gaeilge, tá tú ná na chuid is mó san Gaeilge a thuiscint. You can understand most things in Irish and you're comfortable speaking it, ach tá sé an deacair le rá. It's very difficult to say aisling. Ach tá sé lagam go gairíonn sé sin leat. Agus gur mágad as a bheith géisteach. Kevin, ceist ó Kevin ar Instagram, agus Kevin an tain duine, sé an tain duine ó bhfuil aithne agam ar. He's the only person I actually know personally who sent in a question. Nimime an rá cén chuí ó bhfuil aithne agam ar. I'm not going to say how I know him, but ach tá aithne agam ar Arenos. I do know him. Anyways, thank you very much for listening. Kevin, agus gur mágad as an teachtarach, thank you for the message. After being home at Christmas, I decided I wanted to learn how to speak Irish. I have ordinary level Irish from leaving cert and didn't like it in school. What hope do I have that I can get to the point I can hold a conversation in Irish? A lot of hope, Kevin, a lot docus, but kind of similar to the last one, it all depends on you, Brahan Shay Urtsa, and the way you're practicing agus an chuí ó bhfuil tú cleachtú. So I always say to people, practice in a really direct way. Caiith tú bheith cleachta in malach anna says jerk, and I suppose in a very simple way, in malach anna simply, freshen. So that's what I mean. Cadacílian sé sin. If you're saying there, Kevin, to get to the point where I can hold a conversation in Irish, okay, what does that mean? Cílian sé sin go bhfuil tú an tú féin chur nual, that you can express yourself and express most ideas that'll come to your head in terms of speaking. So by tú an tú féin a chur nual, ó haibh, na smaoinsaí a hagan do the ceann. A chomhpháirtíocht sin go maith tú an Gaeilge a thuiscint nuair atá duine éigean eile ag labhairt, that you also be able to understand Irish when someone else is speaking. So cén chuí Irene much níos fearr leis an dá rud sin? Well, hon who haon the chur nual níos fearr caiith tú cleachta a dhéanamh ar sin. Caiith tú bheith ag labhairt chomh minic mar is féidir. You have to speak as often as possible. Again, most of the time that's probably going to be by yourself on chuid is mó san an by sin Latin. Speak just about whatever, what you did the weekend, even if it's you don't even know how to say I was in Malaga at the weekend, marhapla. Say it, okay, I was. Right, well that's very useful. Tá sé sin an úsáideach, the verb to be, the past tense, let me learn that, boom, I know it, I then know it, and it's something I'll always be using rud éigean a bhaime I gcónaí a buint úsáideas. But even if you're a bit more advanced, then just always trying to speak in your head, sitting down on a pen and paper for half an hour. Ag sí síos le peann agus pápar ar feadh leat just ag scríomh nó ag labhairt ó sóir agus an sin muna bhfuil focail ar ólasad agus chance más rud é gur tosar thorthú. If there's a good chance if you're a learner straight away you'll run into words and verbs you don't know. look them up. You're so lucky now with the internet. Tá táirt agus tá táir in gléir leis an éisteacht slá dhaoine nowadays, because you can just look up a word or look it up in your dictionary, ask someone, whatever, ask a teacher if you're doing lessons, cheiste chur the wound shore, má tá tú ag déanú ceachtainna, and then you have that word, write it in English, write it in Irish, and quickly you'll pick up all the words you need for everyday conversation. Go tapí baid tú an na focail fad atá ag tastal wets chun chora léithúil a bheith agat agus ó thaobh tuiscinte de in terms of listening, just a bheith ag éisteacht leis an méid sin Gaeilge gach lá, to be listening to that much Irish kind of every day, listening again and again and again at different dialects, different people, not just listening to one person. Gan a bheith ag éisteacht le duine bháin ach ag éisteacht le a lán daoine difriúla, to be listening to a lot of different people sin an rud is tábhachtaí. That's the most important thing in my hearimse, in my opinion, and it's just a numbers game with the listening. Well, tú géisteach níos mó agus níos mó, few jet nóid in Ian lay, 5 nóid in Ian lay, 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, like bheith intasart. You'd be surprised tar éis mísa, tar éis gábhí after a month, after 2 months, on my fiabhas a thiochaí the chuid Gaeilge, the amount of improvements that'll kind of come upon your Irish. So, gur míle mád as a bheith ag éisteacht Kevin agus tá Seol go bhfuil tú go maith hall an sin I Canada. Hope you're doing well over there in Canada. Next one isn't a question, but a quick message from Richard, who has been a massive support to me over the last 2 years with Learn Irish Online. Richard agus tá an méid sin takeíochta tugtha ag Richard le gábhlín na nús le Learn Irish Online bíonn sé ag éisteacht gach seachtain agus Richard tá mé fear bhuaich as an daceocht gach seachtain. I'm really grateful for the support every week and all the time, and all your helpful messages and your encouragement in our míle buchas. And I know this is the version you normally listen to. Thosaitheoirí go mín tú ag éisteacht leis an leagan seo de gná, so I really appreciate, especially when I was starting out go háirithe. Nuair a bhí me ag tosú amach and I didn't have too many people listening or following my stuff, nuair nach raibh mór an daoine ag leanúint my content agus na físeánaí agus na podcréaltaí, you were there straight from day one, giving me encouragement and telling me to keep going. Bhí tosan sin an géad lá ag rálam leanúirt, chuineart, tá sin hínta cad atá tú ag déanú, so tá mé fear bhuaich. Tá an teachtbhart róáda hon a lei amach. The message is a bit too long for me to read it out. Cúpla rád an seo. Your approach was perfect for me. You provided me with functional language while I learned important fundamentals about the language, grammar, rules, spelling, etc., all of which I love, believe it or not, through my other coursework. Just yesterday I was listening to this week's podcast at the gym, and I found myself chuckling, laughing and agreeing with you, and almost talking back to you in Irish in my head. And at one point I thought, wow, that's amazing. So thank you. Your work has had a tremendous, can't even speak English now, only fed them Lawrence in Marylandish, has had a tremendous ripple effect on learners like me. Your additional content is creative and fun and designed to produce practical learning, and I can't wait to dig into your new course as well. So Richard, tá mé fear bhuaich mars gnách agus gurmad as an teachtreacht sin Instagram mod sin inyo. Okay, on to the Patreon agus na Ceisteanna a tháinig isteach on Patreon. So over to the Patreon and the different questions that came in on the Learn Irish Online membership, patreon.com/Learn Irish Online. Má tá tú ag éirí chlorú if you want to sign up agus tá trial sir in éasca inis le fáil, €7 in na mísa in sin. So there's a free trial available, and it's only €7 per month after that, or even less actually, if you just want to sign up for the Gaeilge Weekly tier and get the bonus episodes of Gaeilge Weekly, as well as ad-free access and early access. You get the episode on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Fine too on Targran air on Morts in Ots air on Gaeilge. Margaret Costello, a liam tá simam hun fios a chur mustor focal. So I want to improve my vocab. On moille tú cúpla leabhar den level B1 or B2. So would you recommend, or will you recommend any books for level B1 or B2? Margaret, hon an iarna ará, well garmagat as an guest dús Margaret, agus garmagat as an daceocht Patreon. So thank you for the support. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the support over on Patreon. Honestly, Margaret, I do not know much about Irish textbooks. Níl mór an really ar old sagam ó thaobh textleabhar na Gaeilge de. Ach, rud amháin a deirhin, one thing I would say, má tá tú ag éirí fios a chur de stór ocail agus tá tú ag level B1 nó B2 hana féin, just lay ein rud. Lay ein leabhar, lay ein in alt lína in alt nuachta mar hampla in newsarticle agus just le gotí an pointsa a hagan tú ocail nachhfuil ólas ad. So get to a point, reach a point that you find a word you don't know. Agus an sin caithí tú an focail sin a chuirtú. You have to search that word, look it up, agus é scríomh mBéarla agus as Gaeilge agus an sin tá sí agat. You have it then. So I would just do that over and over again. Agus beidir le leabhar go háirithe leabhar le caids on an ord with a very high standard of Irish. Beidir go dóigh sé am fada beidir go dóigh sé lá omláin chun dul tríd an chéad leatnach ach an sin ba lán focail an géad leatnach agus beidir nach rá siad ólas agat dús ach an sin chuci siad a níos a ríis an dair leatnach they'll come up again on the second page agus ba siad agat mar tá siad fólamtha agat hana féin ón géad leatnach agus just Jane is sin a ríis agus a ríis bheith iontas an dahanart. You'd be really surprised an méid's focail gur féidir leat fólam mar sin. Angie, a liam cin seasamhtá agat the an pella. So kind of what's the chance do you have on your football team, or what's do you support any football team? And to my ceapú goil Angie ag déanamh tagart the soccer, and so I think Angie is referring to soccer here more so than Gaelic football or no leis an bell Gaelach níl an rá agam. You don't have a choice, or I don't have a choice with who I support in terms of Pel Gaelach with the Gaelic football. Caithí mé a bheith ag tacu leis an gundé gras mé agus sin gundé na Gaillimhe. So bín mé tacu le chun na Gaillimhe agus siad san ag immert agus te an ná ar nói agus mis an seo sa Spáin níl an seans agam dul go mór an cluichí agus nuair bhí mé ar sin éireann bhí mé ag dul beidir go cluichí i gréibh connacht ó an gohan is cuilimh ag 2018 ag dul go bhar an chrócaigh chun freastal ar an gléithe leceannis idir Gaillimh agus blog clia. But I haven't been to a Gaeilge game in a few years. Ní rama ag cluiche Gaillimh le cúpla bliain anús. In terms of the Premier League, ní bhíonn mé read. Well, bhí mé gafal le Liverpool nuair bhí mé ní sóga. So I was obsessed with Liverpool when I was younger. Gotí beidir nuair bhí mé 8 mbliana deagdís till I was maybe 18. Fós bí mé ag tacu lo bestócha beaganaí and it's just sport an bis má tá siad ag immert ar an telefís agus ní mé ag déanamh éireann rud. Tá mé lán sásta chun fécinn ar an gluiche. I'm more than happy to watch the game. Ach níos a róthbhtach dom really I gcompráid le chuna sa bhí sé just tá lán sima cailste agam Madra leis on Premier League. I've lost a lot of interest in the Premier League and the way it's gone and the direction it's gone in Sky Sports and everything else. Agus, just an tro bhfuil sé imithe agus Sky Sports agus mar sin de. So ní mór an sim agam ach má tá mé chun tacu léon fearan is asna gandáis bheith sé mar Liverpool nó larfol as Gaeilge ach really Gaillimhe sin an éireann a bhíonn mé ag tacu lo ní smó ná aon ar an eile. So that's the team of sport really more than any other team is Galway United. Agus tá ag déanamh go hintach le Galway anús. We've been doing brilliant over the last 2 years agus tá an séisre soccer in éireann Zurich tar éis tosú. So it's just after starting again in Ireland because it goes from February until October or November. Bíonn sé ar siúl ó bhí fiara gotí some Europe over no beidir mína sauna, so it works differently to a lot of other leagues in Europe. Bíonn sé I gibbrú malach buganí difriúil I gcompráid le a lán sraithna timpeall na Europa ach tá tús má Déanta ag Gaillimhe. So Galway United should have made a good start go dtí seo ceapan bua amháin agus gá chóscóir ach tá ag immert go leis ceil an ocht in Shelburne ceapam agus tá Shelburne mar an éireann is fearr really in éireann. Damien Duff is their manager at the moment. So Damien Duff mar an Bannister Hall an sin faoi láthair. And they won the league last year, Vushit on Stra. And the race, so that'll be definitely tough to get any result there tonight. By say Dakar Hunain Thura Ma all unocht. But let's see. Fanga Vekimage. Marian Highlim and we'll share in Sinad in Corsa Ord level Ianus Tauki. So Highlim, do you have it in mind basically to do any kind of advanced level Irish course in the future to make one? Ní ceapam Marian Goil. So been make Crohu Corsa one gach bliain. I make one course every year. Tang sé amach Heart ar bhí fiara. It comes out around February, like the one that I put out a few weeks ago. Cosú leis an ceann a chur mé amach cúpla seachtain ó hin. It's a lot of work to do one, so I won't be doing another one until next year, until 26. Tá lán ibre I gceist, so ní bhaid mé a chur amach ceann eile ar fra bliain eile. Gábhíle is fé sé. But I don't know what the next one will be about. I genuinely have no idea. Níl ein clú agam, níl ein smuoinú agam. Came topic of I on chéad ceann eile dírithe I don't know what topic the next one will be focused in on, but to do one for advanced learners would be quite tricky for like B2 or C1 learners or any of that, because it's just trickier. The higher level you're teaching at, the tougher it gets. For me, the easiest is teaching someone with no Irish or very little Irish and explain the basics. Mar tá sé déanta agam an méid sin orint. I've done it that many times. So I don't know what the next one will be. Maybe it'll be a follow-on course for the bun chórsa we have or something like that. Beidir go mai sé cosúla chórsa. Hundul leis an mun chórsa atá gin, the beginner's course hall an sin. Níl sagam fan go bheicimiid. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Gurmad as an gceist agus gurmagad as a bheith ag éisteacht. Marion, Jonathan an cheist dhearnach le haid inniu. The last question for today an Q&A show Gaeilge Weekly. Tá sé fós beagna in aisteach chun é sin rád. Still a bit weird to say that because I've never done one. Mar níl ceann Déanta agam ribh seo. But an ceist an seo ó Jonathan an Patreon. Hi Liam, tá siúlam gúil tú go maith, Gurmad, tá siúlam sa gúil tosa go maith. Jonathan, tá mig smaoineh frescrúdú teig, T-E-I-G a dhéanú. So that's the kind of, I guess, the official standardization in terms of what level you have, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. It's angacha tifriúla. I don't know what the name, I do know the name of the English one. What's the English one? English Celta? No? No, sin an scrúdú hon an mBéarla a bhúna. A cad a I-E-L-T-S. No, T-O-E-F-L. Well, T-O-E-F-L sin hon an mBéarla a bhúna. Agus súla sin ach le haid an Gaeilge teig T-E-I-G. Ernest, an dóileat gur rud ma a dhéanamh. So do you think it's a good idea to do it? Beidir an bhealach wa chun dul chun cín a rianú. Maybe the best way to kind of, I suppose, force myself into progressing. If you make fólam fui gcomhlín anis or le gcomhlín nús. So I was learning now for the last 2 years ach tom level A2. So the level A2 agam, I have about A2 level. Gur míle mad. No, gur míle mad sa, Jonathan. For me, Jonathan, domsa níl mór an sima agam churbe leis na scrúdaithe sin. I don't have any interest at all with those exams. Few le ma chuid Spáinishe. Ní bhíon aon sim agam chun mar hampla scrúdú C1 a dhéanú in the rainroad mar sin mar cén difriocht dhéana sé. What difference does it make? Má dearan duine éigean in Madrid. Má tá sé ag íoch airgid. If I pay money and they're not cheap, chusnín siad ar céad nó €100 chun iad i dhéanú. Agus níl aon wrong inna. Lob just sin chun an scrúdú i dhéanú. There's no, I don't think, classes that you get to do. That's just to do the exam and to have it corrected. Chun an scrúdú all ceartaithe. Like cén difriocht dhéanaan say má dearan duine éigean in Madrid. Oh yeah, well, scríobh sé seo ar an scrúdú ach níor scríobh sé an rud sin agus bhí button an seo. So tá level C1 aige, nó tá level B2 aige. It's come along. Agus beidir mar hampla go háirithe leis an gcóras sin, especially with that system. Ní ceapam gohfuil sé leathan galore. I don't think it's broad enough, to be honest. Mar nílach A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2 agus sin é mátá níos mó ná C2 ad tá tú cosúil le caintre dúchas. If you have anything more than a C2, you're basically like a native speaker. So mar hampla mátá cara agam agus táis agam gohfuil chuid Spáinishe ó bhád níos fearr ná an Spáinis tá agam. Seans má fós go mbeidh an bhirteagáin thart ar level C1. There's a good chance that both of us will be at about the level C1. Ach really, tá sesin ó bhád níos compradí ag labhairt agus ag tuiscint na Spáinishe agus an bhirteagáin ansa in ar gcónaí sa Spáin. So really, he's a lot more comfortable with everyday use, speaking and listening and understanding Spanish in our everyday life in Spain. So, domsa an tain rud agus an tain fá a bheith sé go maith, Jonathan, agus tá sé seo sais ráite ad chun beagnín spragu ó thuirt dit féin to give yourself a bit of motivation. Mar má tá an scrúdú ar siúil miúil mar hampla if the exam's on in July, tá rud ag an agat sa todhchaí agus is féidir leat obair ar an rud sin agus is féidir leat tá rud ag an agat an sin sa todhchaí chun sprague a thuirt dit. You have something in the future to give you motivation to push you to study more. So beidir ó thaobh sinse tá sé go maith nó fiú má tá tú ag éirí an scrúdú i dhéana i mbliana agus a rís an bhliain se thugan agus a rís an bhliain i níos sin agus baid tú an feicáil, and will me actually, ag dul chun cín and sure, am I actually progressing, am I actually getting better? So yeah, béidir, má tá tú ag smuoine faoi sa bhealach sin, if you think about that way, tá sí úsáideach, but at the end, once you're getting better every day, má tá tú garí níos fearr gach lá, agus tá tú géisteach le rudaí, tá tú ag buint taitnimh as labhairt na Gaeilge, you're enjoying speaking Irish every day, sin an rud is tábhachtí go nádartha, tá tú an airí níos fearr, mar dúirt mé níos luútha, as I said earlier, nó bí bortha faoi líofacht, fluency, cad a cílíonn fluency, cad a cílíonn C1, cad a cílíonn B2, ní fiú é mé hearmse, it's not worth it in my opinion, ach mar dúirt mé, má tá tú ag géirí beagnaí brú a chur ort féin, chun níos mó stadir a dhéanamh if you want to put more pressure, not pressure in a bad way, just give yourself a little push to study a bit more an sin bheith sé go hintach ach ná bí rohmhórtha faoi. Really, don't be too worried about it, I would say. So that's it, a long podcast, put chuir fada inniu, gan dabhas, ach mars ganach, guys, míle buchas as éisteacht, míle buchas le gach duine, a cheol ceist isteach. Agus yeah, béidir go ndéon himid é seo arís I gceann cúpla mí. We might do this again in a few months. As I said, all the questions were sent in on Instagram, Learn Irish Online, and on Patreon, patreon.com/learnirishonline. So má tá tú I géirí muid leanúint, hall an sin, nó beidir chlórú an mBéarla Online or on mBéarla Gaeilge Weekly, or to sign up to register for the full membership or the Gaeilge Weekly membership to get loads of different benefits and stuff there. For learning the language, chun a lán rudí difriúla all hall an sin, chun cabhrú leat leis an Gaeilge ólam. It's very leat dul go dtí na háiteanna sin. I'll be back next week speaking a little bit about the Irish language itself, which I don't do often by mirash. An Tachtan Shogun ag labhairt beagnaí faoin Gaeilge I hain. Rud éigean nach mím ag déanú go minic. So somewhat looking forward to it, but let's see how it goes. Yeah, ag súil leis pizza ach arénos fan go bhfeicimid cin chuí a rocky sé an Tachtan Shogun. So I'll be talking to you guys then by make labhairt live on sin, slán agus bannacht.